I grew up in the South. I have an older gay cousin, and he came out before me. Hearing the responses from people around terrified me.
So Hailee and Kendra, I don't know if you've ever meant to do this, but like you two really are huge role models for so many LGBTQ kids, not just around the country, but like around the world. How did that come about? How did this start to happen? Like, did you intend for something like this to happen?
No, absolutely not.
Does any of us really like plan on
Facts.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, I guess we could tell you how we got started if that's what you...
Because I like so many people have like specific niches, right? And your entire channel is just about your love for each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's so special. Like, I can feel myself like tearing up about it because it's just so sweet and so beautiful. I want to know how this happened.
So Kendra and I started dating in 2017. And whenever we first met, I had a Musical.ly account, and it was something that my friend encouraged me to do. And I didn't make like videos or anything, but I did have a couple videos on there of me just goofing off. They had like 0 views. I had like 0 followers. Wasn't
for fun.
Just doing it for fun. And then we started dating, and she saw those videos, and then I quickly deleted the app because I was finishing my master's. She was finishing her bachelor's, and
She was wrestling still at the time. Like,
yeah,
our
I mean,
lives
I was just really,
Yeah.
we were both really busy. I was working 2 jobs at the time, and she was working a job as well. And so I deleted it. And then in 2019, around probably at the end of summer, she was like, hey, where's those cute Musical.ly videos that you made? Like, I want to see them. There's this one video that I just loved, and it was so cute. Or do you still have them? And I was like, well, I don't think Musical.ly exists anymore. So I just did like a quick little Google, and I was like, oh man, TikTok bought it out. And it said if you download TikTok, your old Musical.ly videos would be there. And so that's exactly what I did. I re-downloaded the app.
Only reason we downloaded TikTok.
And so
To get the old videos
and
of
then,
her being cute.
and then it just became an app that just like incorporated like, like scrolling at night together or something. And then I just started posting our own stuff, not thinking anything of it. And we were at work. And we were on a lunch break. You could tell.
Yeah.
You could say it.
We were preschool teachers, which I think is interesting.
Really?
That you
Yeah, we were
that
preschool
you were
teachers.
teachers too. Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
before social media, I graduated with my bachelor's in studio art with certificate in art therapy, and the plan was to be an art therapist or an art teacher. And she graduated with her master's in criminal justice, and she was on the way to be in the Air Force. But in between doing those job changes, we were preschool teachers, and we loved it. We had so much fun together. And we were on lunch break, and she took a video of me where she gave me a pickup line, and we posted it, and we didn't think anything of it. We went back to work.
You're not going to tell him what it was?
No, it's kind of inappropriate.
I said, babe, you have a really beautiful face, but I know what would make it look better. And she was like, what? And I was like, my legs wrapped around it. And her face was
My answer was a journey. It was a journey.
It was. And
I'm
it
a
was
very
shocking.
emotive person, so like my eyes were like, and I was in the middle of like slamming some chips.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And we went back to work. We didn't think anything of it. And then like 4 hours later, when we got off work, her phone was like basically dead, and it had gone viral. And everybody was like,
Yeah.
"Where's your Instagram? Where's your merchandise? Where's your this? Where's your that?" And we were like, "Oh, I guess I'll make it." Like,
Yeah, and then like the first like 2 years of TikTok, we went live every single day and like
Oh my gosh.
really built a community and like got to like know them and let like them know us. And yeah, I mean, there's no manual for social media.
No, absolutely
so we
not.
just started making our own content and having fun with it.
and
That's
being
amazing.
ourselves, like we like exactly what you said. Our content is literally just our lives, and I think that that can be kind of mundane and boring, or it can be really magical and amazing to see, especially for younger queer kids, to see grown, happy, healthy, quote unquote normal queer women existing
Yes.
in the world.
And just normalizing it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like and again, I don't have any kind of experience. Do not want to like speak for anyone in the
Right.
No,
LGBTQ
yeah.
community. But I feel like there's so many kids who, when they kind of come to realize, oh, I might be a little bit different. I might think girls are very pretty, or I might be attracted to guys. And I feel like a lot of these kids that might not be really big on social media kind of feel so scared and alone. And they don't realize how normal it really is,
Yes.
especially in today, which is beautiful and amazing. But did you guys, you guys are clearly so confident in your love for each other in your relationship. Have you always been, have you ever felt like unsafe or I don't want to say bad.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Like that.
I mean,
yeah.
But have you always?
it's
like,
actually really interesting.
Did you have like encouraging like families when you kind of came to these kinds of realizations when you were kids?
I'm glad you brought this up because
Okay.
Kendra and I come from two totally different worlds.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
So-
grew up in the South. Mom, dad, brother, very nuclear family. It is a very homophobic and racist and transphobic area. I mean, you have that anywhere you go.
Yeah.
But it was very prevalent there, and I did not know a single queer person.
Really?
I didn't know a single queer person. I didn't know
Oh my
anybody.
gosh.
In fact, in middle school, whenever I started realizing that, like, the way that my friends were talking about guys, I was like, I don't really think. I want to,
yeah.
like, play, like, football with them. I don't want to kiss them. Like, I'd rather kiss and gossip with you and, like, hang out with you, you know?
Yes.
And so, yeah, I felt really,
Yeah.
really alone. And I
Wow.
hated myself for a very long time. Dealt with a lot of internalized homophobia myself, just feeling bad and like, why can't I just be normal? You know, like no one's going to support me. I didn't know anybody. And I have an older gay cousin, and he came out before me. And I think hearing the responses from people around terrified me.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
It
that's
definitely
not where I
terrified
thought
me.
it was going. Oh, that's
It terrified
such a
me. It did.
heartbreak.
But, you know, also, like, gay men have a harder time, I think, coming out than
Yeah.
women do. So I think especially, like, at that time, like, it was just a lot harder. So it terrified me even more. And, I mean, I really didn't come out until I was in college. And, you know, I
Really?
moved 14 hours away from home. But, yeah, my family was super supportive.
Oh, that's so good
Yeah,
to hear.
yeah. I mean, it was a long journey. I mean, if you think about it, your kid comes out and like you've lived your entire life with this expectation of your kid growing up and have like a wedding and having a family and like, you know, whenever you hear, "Oh, my kid's queer," your immediate thought is like, "What are the consequences of this? You know, how's it going to affect their life? You know, are they going to like not get a job because they're dating a woman? You know, are they going to have a family? Like, I mean, we deal with, you know, prejudice things every
I'm
single
sure.
every single
You should see
day.
our DMs.
No, I promise you don't.
don't want them.
I can't like as I know it's so different, but like as a Jewish lady whose dad was born in Israel, like I know what I get. I can't even imagine
I-
what you get.
At some point, if you're curious, I can explain to you probably one of the worst DMs we've ever
Oh
gotten.
yes,
but,
I would love to touch on that.
okay.
Eventually.
But
Yes, yes.
Kendra, you should tell us about your
Oh,
family.
yes. Okay, so my family is the total opposite. So I have two moms. They're lesbians. They're married.
Oh.
Yep, they're great. I love them so much. And I also have two dads. And my dad
that's
is gay.
So fun.
Yes. So my mom's tried with frozen sperm for 3 years, and it never took, which back in the 90s, that was a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
Yes, that's a lot. That's a lot of money.
a lot of money
period.
now.
That's
Yes.
a lot of
But
money.
yeah.
Period.
And it never took. And they had a best friend who was a gay man, and he had recently come out. He had, at the time, a very young child, and he was going through all of his own stuff, and they kind of were helping him along with that. And so they asked him to donate because he was their best friend. And I love my dad so much, man. It's gonna make me cry. He was like, yeah, of course. And my mom's like, no, you should think about that.
Like this is a big decision.
Take a night.
There will be a child.
Yeah, And he was like, no, children are made out of love, and I love you guys so much. Yes, absolutely. Yep.
Oh.
Yep. And I took a cup, went to the bathroom, came back, and here I am.
Oh my god! And he like stayed around. Like he's like your dad.
Yeah. Yeah. So I didn't know that he was my dad. So back in the day, it was happening occasionally where people's parents the grandparents of the child would take the child because the parents were gay and unfit to have the child. Yes. And
Oh
so,
my gosh.
So we weren't certain who my dad was because my mom mixed frozen sperm with his sperm. And
But legally, that made sense.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
And my mom's voice is sounding in my head right now where she goes, Kendra, I knew he was your dad as soon as you came out. You look just like him. Okay, well, whatever. Well, we got a paternity test, and yeah, he's my dad.
You still get nervous.
Yeah,
Like you just
yeah.
need to see the paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I only knew him as my mom's best friend. He was Kevin, who came around all the time, and he was my mom's best friend, and he babysat me, and he watched me, and that was cool, and that was fine, and I loved him. Until I didn't find out he was my dad until much later, and then I didn't even call him dad until he one day was like, hey, do you think you can call me dad? And I was like, sure. And then that was it.
I love when men can be vulnerable like that.
He's so sweet.
That
He's like a
is
6'7" flamboyant gay man. He's amazing. I
He's
love
beautiful.
him so much.
He's
Oh
very
my
much a part of our
gosh.
lives.
Yes, yeah.
as he should
Yeah.
be. Oh, that's such a beautiful story.
He's awesome.
Well,
And-
go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say so when I came out, I mean, my first Pride was before I was 1.
Yeah.
So, like my parents took me to Pride in like a little rainbow onesie.
Aw.
And so I was in the community already. And so I remember coming out as bisexual first. And my mama, I came out to my mama because I have mama and mommy. And mama goes, okay. And I was like, I thought she'd be a little bit more surprised. And she goes, oh, honey, I'm sorry. I just assume everyone in middle school is bi. And I was like, that's fair. You're not wrong. And then I very quickly came out as a lesbian. And that was just that I think they were concerned because they knew what that was like because they lived it.
Oh.
And they knew how hard my life was going to be because of that, because they lived it. But obviously they loved me and they supported me. But I do remember them being like, I'm sorry for what you're going to have to go through.
See, that, you always hear, like, the conspiracy theorists and the gross humans that, like, all up in arms because they're like, well, you don't let gay people adopt because they're just going to turn the kids gay. And it's like, when you go through that kind of discrimination and you go through that kind of, like, experiencing that hatred, why would you ever want a child? Like, that's not what you want for kids,
right.
you know? And
also, statistically, that would argue more straight people make gay people and more gay people make straight people.
Make gay babies.
Actually, so if you look at statistics, that's already debunked.
It's people that want to hear their own voice, man. You actually, Kendra, made me think of a story that somebody sent me. A teacher sent me. And I was going to save it for the end because I think I will cry. And I didn't want to mess up my makeup. But
we love some healthy tears.
There was a teacher who taught kindergarten. And there was a new student who came in who was immediately ridiculed by a lot of the other kids for having 2 moms. Mm-hmm. And no one would sit with this kid at lunch. She would sit by herself at the playground. Like, she was just so sad, and this teacher just did not know what to do. And then on her second day of school, another little girl walks up to her in the lunchroom and is like, can I sit with you? And the little girl, oh, yeah. And she was just so excited to make a friend. And the new little girl, like, she pauses for a second, and she looks at the new girl. She said, do you think we might be able to have some play dates? And, yeah, I would love to have you over. Like, yeah, I would just love to have friends. Like, she was just so excited to make a friend.
Of course.
And the little girl goes, I heard that you have 2 moms. And I don't have one at all. She passed. So maybe I can come to your house and I can see what it's like to have moms. And you can come to my house and you can see what it's like to have a dad, because he's great.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. Yeah. You got Hailee.
Well, I mean, if you think about it,
Avery.
If you think about it, the dynamics of people's houses look different. Some people grow up with just one dad.
Absolutely.
Some people grow up with just their grandparents. You know, we're fortunate enough to have 2 parents and 2 loving parents. And I mean, that's what you should want for your kids.
Exactly. You should, like, sweet. Just having a household where a child is loved.
Yeah.
I'll never understand why that's not just, like, why would you not just want that?
Yeah.
But, you know, what do I know?
You know,
I'm just
same.
a dumb straight lady. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. But, so, like, who, if you don't mind me asking, like, when you, obviously you told your mom first, your mama. Mm-hmm. Who did you feel most comfortable with telling when you finally were ready to start telling people, I think I'm gay?
Well, it was the girl that I liked first. It was my best friend in middle school. Yeah, it was. And she was basically the only one that knew for a really long time. But actually, my younger brother. He's 8 years younger than me, and he's my best friend. And I was like, hey, you know my friend? He was like, yeah, I know that friend. And I was like, well, I like her, and I think that I'm going to like her for a long time. And he goes, chef, don't judge. And I,
like the chef
for the longest time, had no idea what that meant.
Oh, my God.
But that was what came to his mind. And to me, that was, like, so nice to have, like, even though he was a lot younger than me, him being open to being like, dude, I don't care. I love you. Like, you're an amazing, awesome person. And I think that when people come out, they think that this person changes. Yeah. Or they're going to be some other person. And the reality is they're not.
They've been that
I'm
person
still
the entire
smart and kind and all these other things. Just, I like a woman. That's the only difference.
Wow.
So, yeah. So, my brother.
That reminds me, a lot of the times when we talk to people, kiddos or adults or whoever who's talking about coming out and being nervous about it, we have a lot of advice. But one of the things that we say is to remember that it is as big of a deal as you want it to be.
Yeah.
So it is totally fine if you just want it to be casual. If you just want to be like, hey, I have blue eyes, I'm blonde, and I like women. I'm also a wrestler and I play softball and I, like to read and I suck at math. It's just a part of who you are.
Exactly.
Yes.
But part of that is we do preach safety, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's number one.
Yeah, because we have a lot of people, we read a lot of messages. I'm sure you read a lot of your messages too about people that are very conflicted about coming out. And one of the reasons why is because they're scared that they're going to get disowned, and which I resonated with so much.
Absolutely.
Being scared, like, am I going to get kicked out? Am I going to have a place to go? And for someone like her that grew up in a very loving house where being queer was fine, that's probably something you never had to deal with.
No, but I was definitely that house that I was like, for my friends who were worried about that, I'd be like, listen, man,
come to my house.
I got extra moms, I got extra dads. Okay, come on over. You can have one of them.
My dad, bless his heart, because he's not from here, and like English is not his first language, but sometimes he gets really nervous because like he wants to address people properly, but like doesn't want to offend people. So like my dad is a software developer at IBM. Oh, cool. He's like he's very humble, but like I like to brag on him. Like he's awesome. A very important
that's very smart. Yeah.
He starts every single meeting with, "Okay, dudes and dudettes, let's get this started."
Oh my God, that's adorable. That's so cute.
And like in his accent, like it's just the funniest thing. And I have a couple friends that just started working at the same office, and he's like, every time he says that, man, it just
tickles you.
Rolling. Yeah. And it's like, I feel like that. I feel like there's a lot of, especially teachers, straight teachers, that really get nervous about the line of like, I want to be helpful and make sure that I'm an ally, but I don't want to make anyone feel uncomfortable. And I don't want to, like, if they don't want it to be a big deal, like what? And I think people just get really concerned about what is the best way to be supportive and help. What do you have to say to those straight people? Or just anyone?
I think that this can be applied everywhere, even for like the Black community or the trans community. Communication, ask them. There's a lot of resources out there. Like the Trevor Project is a place that we send a lot of people to because there's a lot of things that we can't speak on. Like, people ask us a lot of advice about being trans. It's like, well, I'm not trans, so I have no idea what you're really experiencing, because sexuality and gender dysphoria is two totally different things. So I think this is opening up a line of conversation and like communication that's progressive and open and honest and transparent. I would definitely I think that's always the first policy.
Yes. Yeah. I also think that I think we get asked this too. I think that's the way to do it if you know that this person is out or is queer. We also get asked, we have parents who will be like, hey, I think my kid's gay and I don't want to say anything until they say something, but how do I just slide it in there
that I'm going to be supportive?
It's totally cool. Yeah. And I'm always like, when I was younger, I would listen when people were like, I was watching The L Word the other night. Or I was back in the day, it was Ellen. I was watching Ellen last night and I loved da-da-da-da-da, I pay attention. When I was younger, I would pay attention to the things that people said that they were interested in. And so that's usually what I say to those parents is to just maybe mention, oh, I saw that there was a PFLAG meeting. I was thinking maybe I could go just to, to be an ally. Or, oh, I saw that Pride is this weekend. That's so cool. I love that we have Pride. Those kind of sentences.
They matter.
Your kids pay attention to.
Yeah, because that's like saying you're valid.
Yeah.
I hear you. I see you. I want to be a part of that and find a way.
That's so
sweet. Our roommate is straight and he's always like, how can I be a better ally for you guys?
Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah. I've gotten a lot of requests from kids. Because, I do the teachers' kids, and a lot of kids don't realize that they are all real stories, always. I won't make them up. It's too crazy out there.
You can't.
I don't need to make anything up. But I always get kids that want me to make a skit about a student coming out to a teacher. And my response to them is always the same, that, that is such a delicate issue that I would feel too wrong to make up that kind of trauma, pain, anxiety, vulnerability for views. Yeah. And that, if I had some kind of story like that and it was okay with that kid or anything like that, sure, 100%. Yeah. But, I feel like there are some things that you just don't exploit for views. Yeah. And that just felt really wrong. And I'm like, I'm sorry I don't have one of those stories. I'm not going to be making a skit like that. Yeah. Now, I did have... I wouldn't, it's not even the same thing. The closest thing that I had to one of those stories was, it was right before it might have even, I can't remember which year it was, but it doesn't really matter. Right a week before school started, I got an email from a mom that said, hey, I'm blank's mom, and I just want to let you know that they're actually going by Sarah now. I just thought you might like to know that. And I said, oh, okay, definitely. We'll put it in my system. Yeah, no problem, because the school didn't change it or anything like that. I don't know if they tried. I don't know if they didn't, because sometimes the parents can
There's
also
some
be,
schools that won't.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
some schools that won't. There's some parents who are afraid to put it out officially. Like, you know,
Yeah.
like, there's
Yeah.
there's so many concerns.
There's a lot of reasons, yeah.
So okay, cool. Like when I go through initial roll call, do you want me to? Yes. Cool. Okay. Great. So I did. And that child came up to me after class and was like, "Hey, that name's not on my like that's not what's on the list. I know that wasn't the name that you were supposed to read." And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. Did you not want me to use Sarah? Did what? Like, I'll whatever you want." And he goes, "Well, I just wanted to know, why did you use that name?" And I said, well, "Did you not want me to?" And he, well, do you want to know why I go by that name? And I said, I didn't ask Nikki why she goes by Nicole. I didn't ask Mike why he doesn't go by Michael. Like,
Right.
do you want me to ask? If you want me to ask, I'll ask you. And like the look on their face was just like dumbfounded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they didn't know what to say. And I'm like, hey, but I don't have to ask. Like, I don't have to ask. It's none of my business. Like,
Yeah.
I don't tell you my business. Like,
Yeah.
it's not my business. It's not your business. Like, that's fine. And they just, okay. And they just turned around and left.
That's
you go.
awesome. That's awesome. That's awesome. We always say that as long as you are happy, healthy, consensual, doing your best, not hurting anybody else, it's none of my business.
Yes. I don't understand
I
why
don't care.
people can't mind their
Yeah.
business sometimes.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't care, man. You do you, boo boo.
Like, I'll never understand people who genuinely get upset that like someone is doing something in their own home. Like, why? Girl, you don't have enough going on in your own life.
Like we get we get the comment every single day, what a waste. And I'm thinking to myself, what do you mean? I benefit from this every single day.
What do you mean, what a waste? I'm out of your league anyways,
Yeah.
my guy.
But going back to your original question, as far as like being like a role model,
Yeah.
I think Kendra and I really strive together to communicate about our content in a way that translates to people and also to a younger version of ourselves.
Yes.
Oh.
You know, because if I would have had that representation
Yes.
out there, I think that I would have been a lot easier on myself. I would have been a lot nicer and a lot kinder to myself.
I
you
love
know?
that.
So I think that we really strive because we do have a younger audience, a younger queer audience.
Absolutely,
cater to,
yeah.
so.
They're probably just in awe of you guys.
It's
Say
crazy.
That like that as long as I'm doing something that younger me would be proud of, then I feel good.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that. And I know it's so different, but I know like we grew up in very similar areas, very close by areas.
Yeah.
And like, you know, I grew up with an Israeli father and we grew up in a Jewish household. So like I had very different but experiences myself of like I was very self-conscious about who knew I was Jewish and who like I didn't want to say it out loud, and I would get very concerned, and I was even afraid to talk about it on social media for a long time, especially talking about where my father is from.
Yeah.
Because like, you know, you can't control where people are born.
No.
Yeah.
It just, you know, like when you find out how to control that, you guys let me know,
Let me know.
man. But
Yeah.
like I haven't found a way to like change where your family's born.
No.
And I just relate to what you're saying because I've been trying really hard to like talk about Jewish holidays. And, you know, that's one of the reasons that Ryan and I got off so well.
He's
'cause
amazing.
He
I
was
love
the
Ryan.
first Jewish content creator
Yeah.
that I ever met. And like I just skyrocketed my confidence with that. This isn't about me, but I just wanted to say that I relate to what you're saying.
That's still important though.
When you see Ryan again,
yeah.
you got to ask him about his Jewish pickup line.
Oh my gosh.
It involves a
okay.
kosher stick.
Oh my gosh. It was hilarious because that is not sometimes we'll like do a video with him and something will come out of his mouth that is so not youth pastor.
We're like, did you
Yes.
did you
Like,
say
did you-
that?
did you
I was
lead us
like, wait, this is on, you know, this is on camera,
Yeah.
right? Like this is rolling.
Yeah.
Bless. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
I love
great.
him.
He's so great.
amazing.
No, but that's like seriously, this is also amazing. So like if you could talk to your younger selves, I'm gonna try also not to cry now.
Oh.
If you could talk to your younger selves, like because I'm sure that there's a lot of people and a lot of kids who follow you who consider themselves younger versions of you in really supportive households,
Yeah.
in really not supportive households.
Yeah.
What would you say?
Oh, man.
I can ask a different question if you want.
I mean, that's just a heavy question. It's like, I honestly, like the saying, like, it's all going to be okay. It is. Like, you're not going to be in the same place forever. And the person that you're going to be in 10 years is going to look back and you're like, oh my God, how did I do that? How did I do that? But I'm proud of myself for being here. I'm glad that I went through that and I grew as a human. So I think just being kind to yourself, being more patient with yourself. And I mean, I also think that finding community is so important in the LGBTQ community, for any community, really.
Absolutely.
Like, you being with another Jewish creator, like,
it's so validating.
Yeah, it makes you feel safe.
Yes.
It makes you feel safe. So I think that I wish I would have spoken more about like who I was whenever I was younger, because now that I'm older, there was a lot of other queer kids around me that we had no idea. I didn't know that they were queer. They didn't know that I was queer. Maybe if we stuck together and like had a conversation, maybe I would have hated myself a little less.
Oh.
That's what I would say.
Oh man.
I'm like gonna get all teary.
I know. I think I would probably tell myself to be easier on myself. I think that I, like a lot of kids, held myself to a standard that was ridiculous. Like realistically, like you're allowed to make mistakes. That's okay. And also remember that like I actually found a letter that I had written myself, my older version of myself, in English class when I was like 16 or 17. And I read it recently, and it talked a lot about like what I was going through at the time, but then at the end of the letter it said, remember that 17-year-olds are people too. And I kind of like giggled at that, but then I remember writing it and feeling like I felt so invalidated in my own feelings and my own emotions and my own struggles because I was young. Mm-hmm. And like, you're going to forget about this. You're not going to care about this in years. And that's true. Realistically, that's true.
Yes.
I'm 27 now and I don't care as much about
who I was hanging out with. And yeah.
But at the time it feels really important and it's okay to feel those feelings, but do also take them with a grain of salt. Remember, almost everything in your life is temporary.
I love that.
Yeah.
And it does get better.
Yeah.
It does get better. And also, one of my favorite advices that I heard, the grass is not greener on the other side. It's greener where you water it.
Yes.
And I think people need to remember that.
I love that quote. Oh, I love that so much.
We use that a lot in a lot of relationship, but we get asked a lot of relationship advice.
Stuff, yeah.
A lot, just not even queer stuff, just normal.
Yeah.
Hey,
how are you?
It's like a very happy, healthy relationship, and like it's one that should be emulated. I'm sure you get a lot of relationship
communication.
Stuff. Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Communication.
Be open and honest with your partner. Like I feel like you have to remember that this person is someone you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and that means that they will be there when your grandparents die.
Yeah.
When God forbid your parents die. Like think
when
of
you
it
get your first pet.
When you have kids and you have postpartum depression, like they will be there for all of this. And so remember that person who's going to be by your side for everything is going to be by your side for everything.
Yeah.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
Why wouldn't you want to be honest with them? Like, and if you can't be honest with them, then
that should tell you something.
That should tell you
it
something.
It speaks to the volume.
Yeah. I just did a TikTok where like there was this TikTok about this girl like trapped her boyfriend in a chair with the broom end, and she like put it under the things.
And he tries to get up and they fall over. Yep.
Yes, and she's like, "Don't show your girlfriend this because that's how you go through his phone." And so I stitched it, I stitched it. And I literally just like, I don't even think I asked Avery. Avery was just like, oh, he's all teary-eyed over there. No. Look, I knew when you mentioned the parents, I was like, don't look at Avery. Don't look at Avery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. But I literally, I stitched it. And I don't even think I prepped him or warned him or anything. I just said, hey, Avery, can you hand me your phone really quick? And he's like, yeah, you need something? And I was like, no. Just want to see if you'd give it to me. And he goes, oh, well, there's a cat behind you. And I'm like, that was the concern.
Yep.
And I'm like, that's how unbothered. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Literally, her face unlocks my phone.
Yeah. Ours is,
It's more convenient that way. It's so convenient.
It is. And like, I made like this thing. I I made this comment because so many people were like, well, why are they going through your phone? I'm like, the point isn't that you should just hand each other their phones and go through them. The point is that like you should be so unbothered that like
Yes.
the concern is, hey, there's a cat behind you.
Yep.
And and like the weirdest comments like trying to justify, well, what if you're talking to your friend about like her abuse or whatever? And I'm like, they shouldn't be going through that, but you shouldn't be concerned they're going to be like,
No.
that you're not getting the point. Like,
Also,
you
Yeah.
clearly don't know.
If you're talking to your friend about your partner's abuse, I'm more concerned that your partner is abusing you than
Right.
that you're talking
Yeah,
to your friend
what?
about it.
Oh, no. I think they were meaning like, I think they meant like, oh, my friend went to a bar and like had a bad encounter and she was texting me about it. And that's not my boyfriend's business. And I'm like, why would they be going through that?
No. And
You
if
shouldn't
they-
be concerned they're going through that conversation. Like
No.
that like these are like two different issues.
Completely different
You should
problems
trust
here.
your partner with your phone.
Yes.
You should trust your partner isn't going to sit there and go through
Yes.
things they shouldn't be going through.
Right.
Yeah.
And if one of those, either of those,
Then you need to have
can't
a
be, like,
conversation.
that's
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
We're
Yeah.
so secure. We sit down and we watch thirst traps and react to them together.
Yeah, we do. On our
Literally?
YouTube.
We high five.
Yeah.
I'm like
We're like, yeah, she's hot, bro. You see that? Holy like,
Avery will literally just be like Avery and I will talk about it. I'm like, he's like, do you think that guy's attractive? And I'm like, I mean, like, I guess. He goes, what do you mean? He's so, and I'm like, what do you mean? What do I mean? I don't think he's attractive.
does he love Ryan Gosling? Because I feel like
Oh God.
Do you love Oh, no, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Right.
Yeah.
He does.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yes.
That's what I meant.
Ryan
This is how well I
God.
know men.
Such a lesbian, bro.
Ryan something?
Yes.
I don't know.
He loves Ryan Reynolds.
All
He
the
does-
guys
all
love
men
him.
love Ryan
Yep.
Reynolds. It's
Yep.
just, you know,
It's just a
it is
fact.
what it
You know,
Do we have one of those in the lesbian world?
Ruby Rose.
Jennifer Aniston?
Okay, fair. Okay, fair.
Beautiful. She's beautiful.
I mean-
Avery loves Olivia Wilde.
Oh, mm-hmm.
He's got good taste.
I'm trying to think of who else.
Oh,
Blake Lively,
Lively.
Taylor Swift.
What?
Oh my
Don't
heart
find
just
me.
shattered. My
I mean,
heart
it's,
just
we're not like
shattered.
we're not against Swifties, but we're not like.
We're not Swifties. Oh, that's
We're
not
not like
really.
hardcore Swifties.
I'm such a Swiftie.
I mean, would I go to her tour? Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
my Ticketmaster ticket was the one that didn't work when they had that whole debacle.
I'm so sorry.
I'm very sad about it. But
I bet you were devastated.
I was the most devastated.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I have one more question for you, but I actually have two.
Okay.
You made me think of one. The first one, and this is more so for me, but I know like a lot of people have asked me to ask you this as well. I always see like the really amazing parents who go to Pride events and it's like free mom hugs
Yes, I love
and
them.
free dad hugs. And I've always wanted to do something like that. But I'm like, this is not about me. I need like I need like I'm so afraid to go and I was like, I don't have kids, but maybe I'll do like big sister hugs. But then I got so concerned.
that's adorable. I
I'm
love
like,
that.
what if people like my biggest fear is going and like people thinking that I'm trying to make it about me. Because
No.
people like that on the internet. People do that on the internet. Like I went to a Team C's event and we cleaned 4,000 pounds of trash from the
Wow.
ocean.
Good
and it was
for you.
amazing.
Good job.
Avery likes to say that I actually pointed out the trash and he lifted it.
Oh,
You know.
good job, baby.
But I knew that you would make the joke if I didn't. But like I got so many comments that are like, you don't actually care. You're just like, you just want the views. And I'm like, I'm not even getting a lot of views on this. Like, and so ever since that, I have been reluctant to go because I'm like, this isn't about me. And I don't want the message to not be what it should be. I don't know. I need your thoughts.
I mean, the reality of it is that the world that we live in, the creator world, is you're not going to please everybody. That
Yeah.
people are always going to have opinions about it, regardless if you do something right or wrong. But that's like saying, "Oh, I'm not going to go to a Black Lives Matter rally because I'm not black."
Yeah.
It's important for us to have allies. It's important for other people to show up for those communities.
Heard going this June.
Yeah, you know,
Cool.
it is.
I think that'd be awesome. I also
Okay,
think the big
okay.
sister shirt would be adorable.
Yeah, because
we
I'm
should
like,
totally do that.
I literally, when I was younger, because Avery and I, for a while, when we first got married, we were like, yeah, we're having kids, and then after, we were like,
We actually, similar.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Not
And,
after my DMs.
Yeah.
I will kill someone.
But I literally I'm like, dang, because I've always dreamed that when I got older, that I've always seen the pictures when I was younger, and I was like, when I have kids, I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna be the mom.
Yeah.
And then I decided not to have kids, and I'm like, shoot,
You can still do
I
that,
guess I'm
though.
everybody's big sister.
You can totally still do that. That makes me think of like, so I'm sure you've heard about like rainbow washing. where like
No.
big companies.
Oh.
So big companies.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only
yeah.
support.
Oh, I hate that.
As a creator,
during
June is our
June.
biggest
Yeah.
month
June,
because
yeah,
of
June's
something
our
like
biggest
that,
month. Yeah. And I hate that, and I wish that they supported us at all times. But there's another part of me that remembers being like 6 years old and being scared because I would overhear people saying, "Well, where's your dad?" And I could see my mom's uncomfortable, and I could see my mom's getting nervous. Or I was really bad about this as a kid. I would out my mom. So I'd be like, "Hi, I'm Kendra, and I have 2 moms. Do you want to play?" And like that was my intro line, and it wasn't always safe. And so I remember that there was a time when everyone didn't support us. And do I love that we rainbow wash things now? No. Do I love that people are putting rainbows on things? Yeah.
Something. It's like baby
Something.
steps.
It
Like
is.
it's not perfect yet.
No.
But you know what? Starting somewhere
Yeah.
and get it in the door and then like fix
I mean, that's why
it.
you ask celebrities to promote things because they're big.
Absolutely.
They have a
Absolutely.
bigger reach.
Yeah.
So I think
Also, if you want to come to Pride,
Okay. Yeah.
Please come with us.
Maybe
We'll have so much
I'll
fun.
come back to St. Louis like in June.
Please
Yeah,
do.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay.
It's so
we
much
also
fun.
we have 2 prides. We have one in
also have a Pride
September as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice.
June is awesome, but it's really hot here, so people are like dropping like flies.
And big corporations, and so they actually
Yes.
like local things. And St. Louis is really big about local things.
Yeah.
So more local stores and shops and stuff is the September Pride. So it's a lot cooler.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like
it's
all
really awesome.
like small local businesses.
Yeah.
My brother likes to give me so much crap because he's been to more prides than I have because he would always do his summers in Israel with his internship and he would always go with our friend Omri.
Oh, that's so
and
sweet.
which is like one of the biggest pride celebrations in the world in Tel Aviv. And so he's just like, "Well, I went. Why are you not going?" And I'm like, "I know.
He's like, "You're missing out, man."
know.
It's
Yeah,
a lot of
I
fun
know.
and it's
It's
super
so much
accepting
fun.
and loving. So
Yeah.
you should definitely check it out.
Yeah. Also, like, I don't think I've ever been to a Pride where people were rude to each other.
I'm not worried about
you know,
that.
like-
I'm worried about the trolls on the internet.
Well, they're
You're
gonna
gonna deal
say
with them
something
every
anyway.
single day, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's so true.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
You validated me because like I always
You could
have-
not do that, and you'd still have that problem.
I always have that problem of like Avery got his wisdom teeth out and he got an IV and I passed out. And literally the only thing going through my head was stop making this about you, Rebecca. It's not about you until like for whatever reason,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
always my first go-to is like, well, people think I'm making this about me.
but that makes no
That's
sense.
my own problems. That's my own
Yeah.
problems. That's my own
I was gonna
issues.
say that's like having a bodily reaction and then being like
I'm
unfair,
sorry, guys.
unacceptable. You planned on passing out.
Well, now I'm gonna go full circle
Okay.
and go back to the. Tell me about the worst DMs that you've ever gotten.
Oh my
My
god.
question is this: Do
Okay.
you want me to show you first and then tell
I
you?
will beep out whatever I need to.
Okay. Okay. Where's? Can I get my phone?
Are you gonna have to pull it up, Hailee?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull it up really quick.
I was just gonna say that I had thought about that a lot of the times, my analogy is gonna be women for this.
That's okay,
A
I'm
lot
ready.
of the times, the only people in the room are men. Yeah. And so we as women have to rely on our male allies to be our voice.
Yeah.
And so if we as queer people are not invited into a space, we have to rely on straight allies to be our voice.
So that makes sense.
And so I think that that's important to remember is that like even if you're not a part of the community, you're still a part
Being
of the
a voice isn't necessarily stepping on toes.
Right.
And I think it's also important to talk about like amplifying voices, but not
Yes.
speaking over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like
Because
that's
the reality of it is we do have a voice and we do have a platform.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, are you ready for this?
Oh my gosh, I don't think she's
Okay,
ready for it.
I'm already sweating.
Yeah, I
There's
don't
no
think she's
need.
ready for it.
Okay.
But I
I'm
do
ready.
want to make sure that it's okay that I show you this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
This is probably one of the
One of the weirdest
Yeah,
DMs.
like-
Okay.
But it's not uncommon
Any
for
any
us.
word, I can literally bleep out anything.
Oh no, you can describe it if you want.
Okay.
I just want to show it to you first.
Oh sure. Are you ready?
Play it. Go ahead and play it. Actually, I'll describe it while you watch it. This is great. This is like a 50-year-old man that wants to be our baby, and he is in a fully pea-soaked diaper, showing it and
he's
adding it.
What is that? Groping?
Manipulating it so that you can see that it's full of urine.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Of urine.
Yeah.
That's not where
Yep.
my brain was going.
Because
Look,
he
wants to be your baby.
Because he wants to be our baby. You guys are really cute. Can I be your baby?
No.
And listen, we're not here to kink shame anybody.
Nope.
Yeah,
Absolutely
okay.
not. You do you.
But because our content has a little bit of the sexual connotation.
Yeah, just because there's spice doesn't
like
mean
if you can send me those things.
yeah.
This is something that we receive on a daily
We receive that kind of stuff all the time.
Like my brain was definitely going to like inappropriate dirty.
Oh, we have those too.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. And I like you said, we're not kink shaming or anything like that, but it's kind of like it's like another version of trauma dumping. Like you didn't ask for that. Like you're not in a relationship with this individual where like you should be experiencing their kinks.
Nope.
And
That was
then,
no consent.
and which is like goes without saying, but I'm just saying it louder for those in the back who might need to hear that.
Also, like, you ask before you send someone something.
Yeah.
I have seen, I guess I haven't because I can't. But
I
we have,
open them up.
yes, she opens them because I can't. I have seen more pics since becoming a creator than I probably have seen in my entire life.
Yes.
And that is absolutely ridiculous. And
Probably.
not, well, okay, I mean, I can't say not once. Only once have we ever received something from a woman and she asked first.
That's a real story.
True story.
I tell this story a lot, and Avery always rolls my eyes when I tell this story. So his family lives about 2 hours away, and I am really bad at checking Instagram DMs, like really bad at it. And at the time, I was getting a lot of kids trying to draw me. It was very sweet.
Oh, that's cute.
And Avery, because I was driving, Avery was the passenger princess for the day. And he was like, I'm gonna help you go through some of your stuff. And I was like, I don't know if that's a good idea. And he goes, no, I got this. Like, I can help you. I can be helpful. And I think, like, I was concerned about what might be there, but I think he was like, no, I can help. I can be helpful.
Good effort, sure.
So he, like, 2 messages in, he goes, oh, I think another kid, like, tried to draw you. And I was like, no, don't open that. And he goes, oh! Yep. I'm like, yep. Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean,
There's a lot of people out there. So.
Yes.
yeah. I had to stop opening them.
Yeah, I
I can't.
That's one of the, and I always feel bad because I get, I'm sure you two do as well. You get so many DMs, and I'm like, I can't open these and look through these because I don't know what's in there, and I don't want my day ruined.
Yep. And it becomes unsafe for us. Like, I can't see that and feel okay for the rest of the day. I'm like, I gotta go shower. Like, I gotta go.
I'll never understand people who do that. Like, it's not cute. It's not funny.
It's very consensual.
No, I was talking to Ryan about this, that, like, pranks nowadays are not funny.
Oh
They're
my
so
God.
harmful, and I hate it.
Yeah.
And, like, I miss a decade ago when pranks were, like,
Innocent.
so innocent. And now the ones where you're, like, scaring someone, upsetting someone, ruining their day. Like, it's not funny.
That's why we don't do breakup pranks or
Nope.
divorce pranks.
I
I'm like,
hate
I
that.
won't do
The
that.
breakup pranks, the April Fool's, I'm pregnant. Like, I hate that. I don't like
First
it.
off, you're going to get canceled if you do something like
It's
that.
so messed up. It's so messed up.
That's-
It's wrong.
Yeah,
I hate it.
Yeah, because there's people out there that would love to have a child and kids.
Exactly. It's not a funny prank. Like, that's a real person's heartbeat. Or someone being sick, someone passing. Those things aren't funny.
No.
Yeah.
I know it. I can't.
No,
But-
she just puts hot sauce in my coffee and doesn't tell me. And then I go drink my coffee and I'm like, because it curdles. Yeah.
Oh,
Some of the things I put in there.
Don't
are
put
very
sriracha
cool.
in hot coffee. It curdles.
oh wow. My stomach just dropped.
Yeah. It was disgusting.
She didn't like that. She didn't trust
I definitely gagged.
No, I wouldn't either. Absolutely not.
I do not have a stomach of steel.
Oh, get drunk.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I
gosh.
spit that out real quick.
Well, before we go, because I could sit here and talk to you guys
I
forever.
know. Same.
Any last thoughts, either to straight allies or younger LGBT, even older LGBTQ plus members who might be, you know, not feeling like they're in a safe space to really like be themselves or just kind of coming to terms who they are, anything at all?
Well, my first thought was, what is it, the saying? The people that mind don't matter and the people that matter don't worry.
Yes.
Also, you're born an original, so you shouldn't die a copy.
I love that.
We're like the most unique thing on this entire planet. There's not a single human that's alike. And so this idea that we fit in this box or this box is just stupid. There's a billion boxes out there. So I mean, owning what you have and like who you are as a person is really important. You know, it encourages other people to be themselves.
I love that. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Thank
I
you for
could sit
having
here
us.
and talk. We're gonna have to plan another
We did
episode
together.
about yes, preschool
okay, cool.
teachers.
Yeah.
Preschool teachers.
Oh my gosh, I have some great stories about
Okay.
beads up people's noses.
When we come back
Yeah.
for Pride, we're gonna record another episode about preschool.
I'm so down.
I'm so
I'm so
excited.
down.
and making some stories.
Yeah, she does.
I love. Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna start planning it already. And thank you guys for joining us. I hope you have a great rest of your day and see you next week. Bye, my lovelies.